We got most people in here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for the 37th Annual National Mining Hall of Fame Induction Gala and Ceremony. I'm David Travis, Vice President of Freeport-McMoRan and the Board Chair for the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum. As you all know, we are now in this very fine cable center, a new venue for us, a little different format from previous years, so it's all working out real well. We are pleased you joined us on this occasion, and as we induct 6 new members into the National Mining Hall of Fame and present the Prazen Living Legend of Mining Award. Prior to the main part of our program, I'd like to give you all an update on the status of the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum. The museum, nicknamed the Smithsonian of the Rockies in Leadville, Colorado, has 25,000 square feet, showcasing the Hall of Fame inductees and an extraordinary gem and mineral collection, historical memorabilia, and an interactive exhibits. The museum entertains about 20,000 visitors a year. Every visitor walks away from the museum with a good understanding of the idea of what it takes to make minerals in their daily lives. TripAdvisor reports the museum continues to achieve a top 10% Traveler's Choice Award every year. This award is evidence that our story is being told and our visitors like what they hear. Our Executive Director, Elizabeth Denschel, and her staff continue to work on modernizing the museum standards, streamlining the business systems, as well as successfully securing grants and other funding sources to support these activities. Working with Elizabeth on the business and operational aspects is our board of 19 members. We now enjoy an expanded, diversified board as part of the plan to lead us into the future. The annual Mining Hall of Fame induction process is separately managed by a board of 8 governors. The governors are made up of distinguished mining professionals that have some passion around honoring the leaders and the entrepreneurs that made significant contributions to our industry. The 3 groups working together is the key to taking this organization to the next level. And I'd like to thank our staff, our directors, and our governors for a job well done. Thank you very much. In 2019, we engaged with the Avenir Foundation here in Denver to create an endowment. The challenge was to fundraise $3 million, and the Avenir group would match it with another $3 million. I'm happy to report we achieved our goal earlier this year. Thanks. A fully funded endowment is a significant factor for the health of the operation in the long term. Thanks to our team and our supporters for this achievement. I would also like to thank a special person, Charlie McNeil. He is on our development committee, and we couldn't have done it without him. He did a great job. So, Charlie, thank you. As our operation moves forward, we're shifting our focus to what the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum can bring to the table in the future. We are in a unique position to influence mostly non-mining people about the real story of mining and minerals in our world. We see ourselves providing an environment and a platform for these folks to discover the amazing process of bringing critical minerals to market in a responsible and a sustainable way. No other mining-related museum or organization can provide this experience backed with a federal charter designation. If you've ever wondered why public opinion is mostly negative on mining, it's because we haven't told the right story yet. We're here to tell you that this organization has evidence the right story can be told in a manner that allows folks to discover what it really means to them and their lives. Expanding the area of influence and creating a different way to engage is our challenge. As you listen to the stories tonight of the honorees, I hope you'll be compelled to contribute to this organization that inspires our young people, recognizes our industry's most influential leaders and provides a platform to discover the real story of mining. And going forward, any of you that have potential Hall of Fame candidates for induction, please let us know by talking to one of the governors or contacting our team in Leadville or going onto the website and submitting your candidate's application. No event such as this is possible without the generous support of our sponsors. And the sponsors include our presenting sponsor, Caterpillar, our hospitality sponsor, Centerra Gold, our cocktail sponsor, Elphinstone, our zero waste sponsor, Royal Gold, and the gala sponsor, Newmont. How about a nice round of applause for the sponsors? Now, onto the ceremony. Our MC tonight is Kim Morrison, a global leader in tailings management and environmental social governance, a graduate of Missouri S&T and with a geological engineering degree and Georgia Tech with a civil engineering degree. Kim has applied her knowledge across more than 20 countries in both consulting and corporate roles. As Newmont's global leader of tailings management from 2019 to 2024, she pioneered implementation of new industry standards was instrumental in establishing the Geostable Tailings Consortium, a groundbreaking initiative that united 11 global mining companies in studying the integration of tailings with waste rock. Currently heading Morris Solutions and serving as an adjunct professor at the Colorado School of Mines, Kim continues to shape industry knowledge through her leadership in professional organizations and publications. She is the founding chair for SME Tailings and Mine Waste Committee and served as the managing editor for SME's Tailings Management Handbook and Tailings Case Studies book. She's currently leading the development of a comprehensive handbook on tailings closure. Her contributions have earned prestigious recognition, including the selection of the 100 Global Inspirational Women in Mining, the SME President's Individual Citation Award, and the AIME Environmental Stewardship Distinguished Service Award. As an SME Fellow and a featured pioneer in the museum Pioneering the Field of Women in Mining temporary exhibit, Kim exemplifies excellence in leading mining sustainability efforts. Please welcome Kim to this podium.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction, David. Good evening, distinguished guests. Welcome to the 37th Annual National Mining Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. I am honored to serve as your MC for this prestigious occasion. In preparing for tonight's ceremony, I had the privilege of meeting with inductees, their nominators, and families. A poignant reality of tonight's ceremony is that of our 5 Hall of Fame inductees, only one, Dale, is able to join us this evening. When I shared this with Dale, his surprise led to a discussion about how an individual's impact on our industry often isn't fully recognized until after they've completed their journey. It's a reminder why ceremonies like tonight's are so vital. They ensure these transformative contributions are celebrated and preserved for future generations. These conversations revealed remarkable parallels among our mining pioneers. Many began their journeys on farms. Most pursued formal education in mining engineering, geology, or business, while others mastered their craft through hands-on experience. All share an unwavering commitment to family and a passionate dedication to advancing mining education for future generations. Tonight, we celebrate 5 exceptional individuals whose innovations have transformed our industry, along with one outstanding organization dedicated to educating youth and supporting our industry's future workforce needs. Their collective achievements extend far beyond technical advancement. As we proceed with the evening's festivities, I invite you all to reflect on the profound impact of mining on our daily lives. From the copper in your smartphones to the lithium and cobalt in your electric cars, from the iron in your skyscrapers to the rare earth elements in your TV screens. Mining touches every aspect of our modern existence. It is my pleasure this evening to present our 2024 Hall of Fame inductees with this year's Prazen Living Legend of Mining recipient, whose accomplishments we'll now discuss. The National Mining Hall of Fame gives the Prazen Living Legend of Mining Award every year to an individual or organization for extraordinary work in educating the public on the importance of mining to everyday life. This year, that award goes to Alaska Resource Education. Imagine a state with fewer people than Phoenix, Arizona, yet producing more minerals than 44 other states combined. That's Alaska, the 6th largest mineral producer in the U.S., proving that big dreams can come from small populations. This reality underscores why educating the next generation about mining isn't just important, it's crucial. Through Alaska Resource Education's innovative Spark, Ignite, and Launch programs, they're planting seeds of curiosity across every corner of America's largest state. Their impact? In just 4 years, they've reached nearly 42,000 students, equipped 452 teachers with hands-on knowledge, and transformed 53 communities' understanding of natural resources. ARE's success stems from a powerful blend of state, federal, and private funding, powering programs that shatter stereotypes and open doors. Their Power program boldly challenges the notion that mining is just for boys, inspiring young women to envision themselves as industry leaders. Through ARE Rockstars, students from remote Bering Sea villages discover immediate career pathways that don't require a university degree. Meanwhile, their Natural Resource Teacher Externship program isn't just another teaching course. It's a transformative experience. This 3-credit University of Alaska program immerses educators in the field, equipping them with practical knowledge that ripples through generations of students, creating informed citizens who understand the delicate balance between resource development and environmental stewardship. As you watch the following video showcasing ARE's innovative approach, consider this. If Alaska can create such impact with their small population, imagine the possibilities in the lower 48. The blueprint exists. Now it's our turn to build on it.
The mission of ARE is to educate students about our natural resources. We do that through classroom visits, through camps, through teacher trainings and externships. We teach about where things come from, how we get them out of the ground, how we use them.
Our kids really need support the day after high school. And what ARE has really helped us do is look for career pathways for students that can do just that. This really is our only chance and partnership that exposes students to this type of work.
Alaska Resource Education meets kids in the classroom, and then it also importantly gets them out of the classroom, takes teachers on field trips and students on field trips to where they will travel to even remote parts of our state where these mines are located and show them. Let people touch, see, feel what a real operating mine looks like.
We went to several mines across Alaska, so it was really cool to get to see what they do and then, what different materials they all mine. And then back in the classroom, we'd learn about what the materials are used in on our day-to-day lives, like toothpaste, iPhones. So it's really interesting to see the connection between how we use stuff and then going out to the field and then seeing it with your own eyes.
The staff over there that come into our program and teach our students just have a way about them with connecting with our students. They approach things through a cultural lens. They're really patient with our students.
We hope that our education of students and teachers across the state will help them understand our resource industries better and also be more aware of what's required to develop those resources.
Winning the award is an incredible honor for Alaska Resource Education because it really highlights the hard work they do in this state to teach not just students, but also our educators about the value and importance of our local mining industry, both the impact it makes now and the incredible potential it has in the future.
They deserve this award because of how much they do focus on educating students about mining. The program taught me all of what I know about Alaska's resources. It taught me how many opportunities there are for women, and it's definitely opened my eyes to possible careers.
Receiving the Prazen Award is an honor, especially to receive a national award for something that we're doing in Alaska, but we like to showcase what we do and how we teach students and teachers about the importance of our minerals and the mining industry. It reflects the dedication of our team to our mission.
Alaska Resource Education deserves this award because they are doing the work. They are bringing hands-on experience to students and teachers to show them it's what Alaska has to offer. The impact that Alaska Resource Education would like to make in the long term is to really drive home the reality that mining and renewable resources and industries are intertwined. They have a shared future. Alaska Resource Education teaches that to students and educators throughout Alaska, that you can't have one without the other, and that, frankly, they go better together.
I hope receiving this award sends a message about how important it is to invest in our youth and invest in their future.
That's really where ARE has helped us the most, is helping kids prepare for those opportunities, showing them what the opportunities are, and then helping them be successful with the right placement.
We are reaching out to other organizations across the country and sharing the way that we teach students to hopefully have more education about minerals and mining across the United States.
Please join me in welcoming Ella Eade, Executive Director, and Becky Toussaint, Program Director of Alaska Resource Education.
You want to give this speech, Becky? Ooh, wow. We hadn't seen the video, by the way. I also think I needed higher heels to be behind this podium. Yeah, I know. Thank you. That was amazing. I know. That's one of our students. She also worked for us. Great girl. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the National Mining Hall of Fame, and fellow advocates of mining education, on behalf of everyone at Alaska Resource Education, it is with deep gratitude and profound honor, that Becky Toussaint, our program director, and I stand before you to accept the Prazen Living Legend of Mining Award for Community Outreach. The recognition is a testament to the collaborative spirit and dedication of many, and it reflects the heart of our mission to teach students about Alaska's natural resources. Alaska is a land of immense beauty, abundant resources, and incredible potential. But more than that, it is a place of people who have shaped its history and continue to chart its future. For more than 40 years, Alaska Resource Education has been privileged to work in communities across our great state, bringing together students, educators, industry leaders, and local stakeholders in pursuit of a shared goal, fostering, understanding, and stewardship of our natural resources. We believe that education is the key to sustainable development. Our programs, built on partnerships with schools, businesses, and communities, empower youth and young Alaskans to not only learn about mining, energy, and the environment, but to envision themselves as future leaders and innovators of those industries. They are the ones who will carry forward the legacy of responsible resource development that benefits not only Alaska, but our nation and the world. I want to take a moment to thank the National Mining Hall of Fame for this incredible honor. Your support of educational outreach highlights the importance of connecting communities with the industries that drive our economy, especially in regions where mining plays such a critical role. To our many partners and supporters, this award is shared with you. I'd like to thank our board chair, Clayton Gooden, who traveled down from Alaska, who's from Nano Regional Corporation, Lisa Casino from Usabelli Coal Mine, who also traveled from Alaska, and Lorna Shaw, who is from Alaska but currently lives here in Colorado and works for Newmont. Thank you for supporting us, and Becky's parents. Thank you. From our educators who inspire curiosity in the classroom to the industry professionals who offer their time and expertise, their commitment to education is making a difference in the lives of Alaskans. I have to especially thank Becky for her 12 years of dedication to our mission. Together, we are ensuring that the future of our state is in capable, informed hands. Finally, I dedicate this award to the students. It is their enthusiasm, questions, and dreams that fuel our work. They are the reason we are here, and they are the future that we believe in. Thank you once again for this prestigious award and for recognizing the impact of community outreach in advancing the responsible development of our natural resources. We are proud to continue this journey with you. Thank you.
Inductee number 268 to the National Mining Hall of Fame is Arthur C. Daman, a visionary who transformed the mining industry through innovation and global expansion. Known throughout the mining world as Mr. Denver Equipment, Daman founded the Denver Equipment Company in 1927, leaving an unforgettable mark on the industry through his remarkable combination of engineering prowess, artistic skill, and business acumen. As an engineer, illustrator, and inventor, Daman's creative genius led to over 50 patented designs, but his vision extended far beyond innovation. He recognized the global nature of mining well before many of his contemporaries. Under his leadership as CEO and president until 1968, Denver Equipment Company expanded from its Colorado offices and manufacturing base to establish offices across the globe, from Canada to Mexico, England to South Africa. In 1957, recognizing the booming copper markets in South America, he established a factory in Lima, Peru, revolutionizing equipment delivery and customs logistics for the region. In fact, several of his grandchildren, who are with us tonight, lived in Peru during those pioneering years, with fond memories of their grandparents' Christmas visits. But behind the successful businessman was a grandfather with a playful spirit. His grandchildren share delightful stories of how he lovingly nicknamed three of them, Hans, Louis, and Fritz. He was an artist at heart, who once taught a grandchild how to draw a flag that appeared to wave in the wind rather than hang straight. Despite being admittedly unsuccessful at it, he couldn't resist the thrill of horse racing. And in a tale that sounds like it belongs in a movie, he became something of a hero during a Sierra snowstorm in 1952, when his foresight in purchasing extra food helped feed fellow passengers on a stranded luxury train. Let's watch a video to discover more about Arthur Daman, a man who helped shape modern.
Arthur Daman was born to German immigrant parents in Chicago. He went to technical school in Chicago, which is what kind of got him down the mining engineer path. He basically left Chicago when he was 20 years old to go to Denver to attend the School of Mines.
He was an artist, inventor, designer, and founder of Denver Equipment Company.
Denver Equipment Company became a premier global mining manufacturing company. He was known as Mr. Denver Equipment.
Arthur Daman was my grandfather.
I know Arthur Daman because he is my grandfather.
I started working for Arthur Daman in 1942. I met him through this associate. When I went in to look for a job coming out of high school, it was very rare that the executive vice president said it was unusual for him to want to talk to anybody that just off the street, that he likes to hire the students from the School of Mines for that reason, that you will arrange for you to meet him.
Arthur Daman should be inducted into the National Hall of Fame because of his patents and the founding of a wonderful company, Denver Equipment Company.
In my view, a very important person in mining.
Through the innovations that Denver Equipment Company provided to the industry, it significantly changed the financial and the business dynamics of how these mines operated.
He improved the mining industry by unique machinery.
I think he raised the level of professionalism and expertise that mill operators exercised in conducting their business. He published numerous books.
One was the Denver Equipment Handbook, printed in 1954. Second publication was Mineral Processing Flow Sheets.
The Denver Equipment Catalog of 1954 is considered one of the Bibles of the mining industry. The Colorado School of Mines, which is his alma mater and the school that, he was deeply devoted to helping and support, they used that manual in their curriculum.
The other item that carries on is the actual equipment being manufactured today. The product continues and the education continues.
His peers would remember him as a perfectionist, I believe.
The Society of Mining, Metallurgy, and Exploration, SME, they created the Arthur C. Daman Lifetime Achievement Award. I think that's probably the biggest testimony that any miner could have received.
I would say with great respect, was instrumental in the design and manufacturing of pieces of equipment that are used by the industry worldwide. He was a hard-working man.
When I was 14, he gave me 10 shares of Piper Aircraft, and he grabbed the annual report, underlined everything that he felt was important, and I've used that knowledge all my life in my investment philosophy.
He thought about how he could best provide, for his family, their children, their grandchildren. It was important to me because it gave me a sense of independence that I might not otherwise have had. His kindred spirit lives in me, and I believe in all of his descendants.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Arthur Daman's grandchildren, Thomas Daman, Chris Daman, Jenny Liddick, and Bill Alberg. And I invite all members of the Daman family present tonight to please stand and be recognized.
Good evening. On behalf of my brother Chris, my sister Jenny, my cousin Bill,
and Cousin Bonnie, who is here with us in spirit. We are the grandchildren of Arthur C. Daman, and we are very honored and extremely thankful that the National Mining Museum is presenting this prestigious award and plaque in recognition of my grandfather's induction into the Museum Hall of Fame. We would also like to express our thanks as a family to Bob Kilborn for his nomination. We know that Arthur Daman would be very pleased and honored that he is included with an elite group of individuals that are already in the Hall of Fame Museum for his remarkable impact and the amazing advancement that he provided to the mining industry for over 50 years of his life. My grandfather, he had a favorite saying that he would instill and write into these beautiful artistic Christmas cards that he would send to his family, his friends, his business associates, and his customers. And he would bestow upon them the wish of health, wealth, and happiness. And that was something that was very dear that he wanted his fellow mining and family to truly benefit from. And now that we are so close to the Christmas season, our family would like to bestow that same wish to all of you here who are honoring his legacy at the gala tonight. So we wish you health, wealth, and happiness as you proceed in your lives ahead. In closing, my grandfather donated a set of Carillion bells to the Colorado School of Mines, which are in the Guggenheim Tower in 1966. And it's my wish that those bells ring in celebration tonight. Thank you.
Inductee number 270 to the National Mining Hall of Fame is Dale B. Elphinstone, a man whose story is less about luck and more about unwavering determination, innovation, and the extraordinary power of practical wisdom. When I met Dale to prepare for tonight's induction, I arrived with a list of prepared questions. But sometimes the best conversations happen when you ask just one profound question. I asked him about how his hands-on experience could lead to industry innovation, and what I received was a remarkable hour-long journey through his life, beginning with the most fundamental classroom of all, the family farm. Raised in rural Tasmania, Dale's childhood was a masterclass in entrepreneurship. At just 11 years old, he and his brother contracted with their father to handle dairy farm duties, earning a portion of the cream check. His father didn't just teach him work, he taught him business. Imagine being taken to the tax agent's office at age 11 to file your first tax return. Dale's father lived by powerful mantras like, "The wheel turns. You decide whether it goes forwards or backwards," instilling a philosophy of proactive innovation that would define Dale's entire career. In a community so small that his phone number was simply the number 4, Dale learned early that limitations are often just opportunities in disguise. He began his journey as an apprentice diesel mechanic at age 15 at the William Adams Caterpillar dealership after being turned away when he first applied at 14 years old. A rejection that would fuel rather than discourage him. The mining world said certain innovations were impossible. Dale's response? He was naive enough to try, developing the Elphinstone LHD using Caterpillar parts to transform underground mining and expanding from Australia to global markets. In 1987, he not only acquired the William Adams Caterpillar dealership, but made his first export sale to the United States, to the Henderson mine. In more recent years, his story takes an even more remarkable turn. Diagnosed with terminal cancer and given just months to live, Dale didn't just survive, he thrived. True to form, he continued leading the Elphinstone group, carefully crafting a succession plan with his children, Kelly and Adam, while the company gave back by funding an MRI and cancer center in Burnie, Tasmania. This January, the Elphinstone Group will celebrate 50 years in business, coinciding with Dale's 60 years of work. His enduring motto remains beautifully simple. Do what you say what you'll do, honor your commitments, and treat people well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's prepare to be inspired by the extraordinary journey of Dale Elphinstone through this video.
Dale progressed through from being a service technician to the owner of a dealership, and he started a manufacturing business in Tasmania. He really understood from the bottom up how this machines work, and he wanted to make a better machine, better suited to the mining needs of that region.
I knew him as someone who bought components from CAT. I knew him as someone that we bought a company from him, and I knew him as a Caterpillar dealer.
When I really got to know Dale well is when we started selling the Elphinstone LHD loader to one of the underground molybdenum mines in Colorado called Climax Henderson.
I know Dale Elphinstone originally from when I worked in Tasmania at the Cleveland tin mine.
I first met Dale back in 1996 when I was the new group president for the Asia Pacific Theater for Caterpillar. And he was hosting the Asia Pacific dealer meeting in Hobart, Tasmania.
I think there's a lot of reasons Dale should be inducted into the National Mining Hall of Fame. He's done an incredible amount of very positive things for the mining industry, not only, in North America or United States, but around the world.
I think what really, brings Dale into the Hall of Fame is the fact that he is an application engineer. He understood customer applications and developed products to meet that need.
He's been incredibly successful with his innovation and knowledge and relationships with the underground mining community.
He went so far as to create a product line, Elphinstone product line, that was so successful that we at Caterpillar came back and purchased his business a few years down the road. Dale loved that business so much that my colleague, Dick Benson, who actually did the negotiations to buy it from him, he was pretty sure that Dale loved the underground mining business as much as his two children. That's how difficult it was to buy it.
Dale Elphinstone improved the mining industry by improvisation and innovation of underground mining product using Caterpillar components.
He's just very creative. His organization is very creative, and I think everything he's done has helped move production of mining forward.
I think he's improved it by the engagement between customers and manufacturers. In many ways, he was one of the pioneers behind the movement underground.
So he made a huge impact on the underground mining industry, beginning in Australia, but gradually expanding to the rest of the world. His peers would all say he's creative, he's enthusiastic, he's an absolute bundle of energy.
He has a personality that engages with customers all the way down to mechanics.
He doesn't have an ego. He has a passion for the product.
Everything he said that to consider for improvement or longevity of the machines, he was right. Dale became kind of the go-to guy in the Elphinstone organization to help solve problems and answer questions.
Dale's impacted me in many ways. Seeing him work the customer base was just inspiring and encouraging.
He had adversity in terms of running a business, but he also faced adversity in terms of his personal health. And what he demonstrated to me as I take on my own challenge is you take it on head on.
His passion's still there, and it's great to sit with Dale and hear him talk about other products.
They're a great family, great organization, and they're just a lot of fun to do business with.
At every step on that journey, he was engaging, he was positive, and he had a can-do attitude that was infectious. From service mechanic to Hall of Fame. I mean, you can't make this story up.
From a small farm in Tasmania to transforming the global mining equipment industry, some journeys defy imagination. So let's welcome a living legend, Dale Elphinstone.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for having us here this evening. It's a great honour and very humbling to stand before you this evening to accept this induction. This is something of a dream about that you can only dream about in a life journey supporting the mining industry. It's been a labour of love, and when you love what you do, it really isn't work. But firstly, I'd like to congratulate and recognise the other inductees who those past and present have helped to shape the mining industry, not over decades, but when you look at the history of the Mining Hall of Fame, over centuries. I feel fortunate to be in the presence of such distinguished people. I also feel very fortunate and honoured to be able to join my late Caterpillar colleague, Glenn Barton, who was also inducted into the Mining Hall of Fame. Glenn was a great mentor and helped many of us in the mining industry and nurture us as a small business. But the privilege of standing before you this evening, however, didn't happen without tremendous support from a dedicated team of people in our Elphinstone organisation. And I certainly want to dedicate this award to them, because without them, we wouldn't be here. I would also like to pay tribute to our Elphinstone people, because they've over 50 years developed products that are safer, more efficient, more environmentally acceptable for the underground mining industry. I also need to acknowledge the tremendous support that you heard there that come from Caterpillar and the Caterpillar dealers. And if you go back to 1979, when one individual, Jim Christopher, travelled from the US down to Burnie in Tasmania, and it's about the furthest place you can get away from Peoria in Illinois, and if you'd have thought that he would have engaged with us and started to supply us components and things like that, and I think it's that trust that Caterpillar and the Caterpillar dealers put in us as a small organisation to take us forward, is really what has brought us to where we're at today, and particularly the team in OEM Solutions, or it used to be Caterpillar Industrial Products, because they're the people that really have engaged and made this happen. And my old colleague, Dick Higby, that's since passed, he travelled to Australia 2 times a year. He stayed there for 2 months each time he travelled there, and he did that for 16 years. And really, I used to say to Dick, some of the bricks and mortar in our place belong to him. But it is that I suppose, support and trust that allows you to do what you do. Most importantly, though, however, I'd like to acknowledge the mining industry. And in Australia, in the early days, companies like Renison Bell, that was owned by Consolidated Goldfields or King Island Scheelite or Mount Isa Mines or Western Mining, that put their trust in us to deliver them equipment. And then in the US, has been mentioned already, Henderson Mine, Falcon Bridge and others that had enough faith in us to come to Australia, look at our machine and then buy one and put it to work underground. I think to the miners and operators of our machines who've provided us with continuous feedback, they've helped us develop and work hard on our equipment over many years, and we say to them a solid thank you. In the 1980s, Henderson Mine here in Colorado basically went from 30 machines that was producing, I think, about 38,000 tonne a day to just a little over 10 of our machines that produced 40,000 tonnes a day. And that changed the economic future of Henderson Mining, and it was a big block cave mine that really used the capabilities of our machines. But the win that came out of that was mutually rewarding because it made Henderson Mine more successful. They accepted more visitors from us than I think they ever imagined possible over the years, but it was a great proving ground for our products and left us in very good stead. And the feedback on our machines was the first day an operator operated, it was too fast, and every day after that, everybody else's was too slow. We acknowledge the people from Henderson for, I suppose, the start they give us, because that was our first LHD outside of Australia, not just into the US. And we often say in our Elphinstone organisation, we've done a lot of things because we didn't know we couldn't. And the Henderson event was absolutely one of those. To my soulmate Cheryl and Kelly and Adam, who are here with us this evening, and their families have been, an unwavering support. I think Cheryl was telling a story at lunchtime today where we met when she was 16. And we've spent 48 years together in married life, which is something that I really treasure and has supported us in the business. A special thank you tonight for those who've travelled a long distance. I know we've got some colleagues here from Australia and Canada and other places, so thank you very, very much for doing that. In closing, I'd like to acknowledge those who've put all of the work in to nominate us. I'm not quite sure who exactly started it, but apparently it's been running for a couple of years, and we really appreciate, as a non-North American, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's certainly a great honour. As a young 22-year-old in the 1970s, I bought a 3-month Greyhound bus pass, and I travelled across the US 3 times on a Greyhound bus. And I met a lot of interesting people. I visited a lot of Caterpillar dealerships and Caterpillar facilities, but most importantly, I made a lot of friendships with people. And I think over the last 50 years, we've travelled to the US at least 2 times a year. And throughout that time, we've just made so many friendships. So Cheryl and I and our family really feel at home here in the US. So please be assured that our Elphinstone Group will continue to reinvest in the mining industry because it's been very kind to us throughout our life. Thank you again for this prestigious award. Please enjoy the rest of your evening and have a safe journey home. Thank you.
inductee number 269 to the National Mining Hall of Fame is R. Gene Dewey, a man who transformed his career by refusing to be confined by an office desk and instead choosing to understand mining from the ground up, quite literally. Armed with a business administration degree from the University of Arizona, Gene could have followed a traditional corporate path. Instead, he traded spreadsheets for hard hats, moving from accounting to working the pipe and mine backfill crews at Kennecott's Ray Mine. Where others saw limitations, Gene saw opportunity, learning every inch of mine operations from the inside out. At Molycorp's quest to mine, he didn't just climb the corporate ladder, he reimagined it. By 1974, he was general manager, and through merger with Unocal, he rose to become president and CEO of Molycorp, and eventually VP of Carbon and Minerals for Unocal. Gene was more than an executive. He was an evangelist for mining. His trademark? Handing out business card-sized periodic tables showcasing rare earth minerals, turning technical information into tangible wonder. To Gene, work wasn't a job, it was fun, a philosophy he lovingly passed down to his son Mark. His commitment extended far beyond his immediate role, a founding member of the National Mining Hall of Fame, director of the National Mining Association, and Legion of Honor member of SME. Gene believed in giving back. His endowed scholarship at the University of Arizona's Lowell Institute for Mineral Resources supports outstanding PhD candidates in mining, metallurgical, or geological engineering who bring practical industry experience to their research, ensuring his vision continues to shape the next generation of mining professionals. A man who moves seamlessly between corporate boardrooms and the mine site, who saw the poetry in periodic tables and the joy in hard work. Gene Dewey didn't just work in mining, he celebrated it. Let's learn more about this remarkable man through this video.
I remember Gene, and I think a lot of people remember Gene Dewey for a number of different things.
Remember him very much as being strong and assertive. He was very open to new ideas, but he also was very cognizant of things which had worked.
One of them is his ability to talk to anybody. When he came to the university, he always wanted to talk with the students and the other faculty members. It was more important to him to relate with people and see what they do and learn what they're doing, and to give them his ideas and knowledge along the way. And so I'll always remember Gene as a person that was very sharing with what he knew and wanted to learn from other people.
He employed my father to support him at the quest to mine in New Mexico. And at the time I was a college student, and Molycorp's practice was to hire employees' children who were college students for summer jobs and such. And so that's where it started with me.
Gene Dewey should be inducted into the Hall of Fame for a few different reasons. One of them is his approach to mining and his commitment to mining. He came into the mining industry not as a mining engineer like a lot of us do, but he came in as an accountant. But he was put into a lot of different areas and different jobs, oftentimes in operational jobs. And so he ended up bringing a different thought process to those jobs, a business thought process.
A big part of Gene's improvement to the mining industry began with his training and education as an accountant and his early career work himself in steel as well as various mines When he hired on with Molycorp, he instituted one of the first computerized, the discounted cash flow return on investment programs to help track costs and project costs and productivity.
The other thing was his focus on rare earths. If you think about the importance of rare earths in our economy and our industry today, Gene was really a leader of that and ran the Mountain Pass mine and other areas to where he had some of the very early influences on the mining of rare earths in the United States. Gene Dewey's impacted me in a lot of different ways. First of all, he's a person I really looked up to. I really liked the way that he dealt with people. I really appreciated the fact that Gene would invest in our future leaders and our future technical people with his fellowship. And so I actually created a fellowship at the University of Arizona based upon what Gene was doing. And it's very similar to what Gene does with his fellowship, or what Gene did with his fellowship, and the fact that my fellowship is also contingent upon or focused on people that have industry experience, and the importance of combining that experience on the job with the educational side to make even stronger people that lead our industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Dewey, a son who learned from his father that work should be a passionate pursuit of joy and discovery. And also, we have a special founder's hat for you that apparently they found in the basement of the museum. So,
thank you. Thank you, Board of Directors, the governors, and Ralph Sackerson for nominating my dad. My father would have been truly humbled by and honored by the induction to the Hall of Fame. There are countless individuals in our industry who desire such recognition. To be one of those fortunate enough to be nominated is tantamount to hitting the lottery. My father also felt like he hit the jackpot when he started and ended his career in the extractive mineral industry. From the first day in Ray Mines Division, he was privileged to work with and surrounded by individuals who made his life experiences something to be truly cherished. My dad did not take half measurements. He was always committed to his work, not because it was work, but because it was fun. So many choose a career because it is what's expected. For my father, mining chose him, and he was able to meld his accounting schooling with the love of the outdoors to create a great career that he was passionate about, and he would talk to anyone about mining and minerals for hours and hours. My dad had several passions beyond mining, and all of them gave him great enjoyment. When he was not working, he was hunting, fishing, skiing, sailing, reading books, whether it was mining journals or just historical books. And in general, just loving life. My dad had many passions. My family was paramount. My parents were married 63 years, and whenever possible, my dad would take my mother on a business trip. So they would be able to enjoy the wonderful sights. And in retirement, my parents were always on an adventure. Every month there was a new adventure. Going from Bora Bora, sailing in Greece, to the Caribbean, or just going to Catalina for a weekend. My wife and I were equally lucky to share some of those adventures, like skiing in Switzerland and hunting in Bolivia. I would like to thank you all again for nominating my father to the Mining Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Inductee number 271 to the National Mining Hall of Fame is Patrick M. James, a visionary who didn't just build mines, but reimagined entire industrial landscapes through audacious innovation and strategic brilliance. A 1968 mining engineering graduate from Colorado School of Mines, Pat transformed what was once a modest mineral lease management operation into a global mining powerhouse. Where others saw limitations, he saw unprecedented potential. At Santa Fe Pacific Gold Corporation, he wasn't just an executive. He was an architect of possibility, executing a groundbreaking federal land exchange that turned dragline operations from a challenge into an opportunity. Pat's career was a masterclass in strategic transformation. Under his leadership as COO, Santa Fe Industries didn't just grow, it revolutionized. He introduced cutting-edge autoclaves before they were industry standard, pioneered toll milling, and assembled a global exploration team that refined industry boundaries. The 1993 Asset Exchange, the largest of its kind in the United States, wasn't just a transaction, but a strategic symphony that combined the Rabbit Creek and Chimney Creek mines into the impressive Twin Creeks mine. When Newmont acquired Santa Fe Pacific Gold for $2.5 billion in 1997, it wasn't just a corporate acquisition. It was a testament to Pat's vision. His journey didn't stop with Santa Fe. At Rio Algam Limited, as president and CEO, he continued his global mining odyssey. From Argentina to Chile to Peru, Pat negotiated complex international joint ventures, transforming the Antamina mine from a concept to a cornerstone of global mining infrastructure. But Pat's genius extended far beyond balance sheets. He was a humble innovator, a father who saw science as a playground of discovery. While other executives kept their work at home, Pat brought exploration home, quite literally. He supported his children's scientific curiosities with remarkable hands-on enthusiasm, allowing his daughter Amy to construct a mock tailings pond in the family bathtub for settling tests, and encouraging his son Mark's experiments with magnetic propulsion systems. So let's delve deeper into the story of a man who didn't just mine resources, but mined human potential.
Dad was born in Cheyenne, Wyoming. His parents had nothing. They ended up moving to Colorado. He was the first person in his family to attend college. After his career took off, he has supported over 15 members of our family through college. He also has a scholarship fund. That scholarship gives 1 to 2 scholarships a year to students who are going into the mining industry.
He has been a very significant contributor to Colorado School of Mines. He served on the foundation board there, a dedicated family man, always a friend to virtually everybody.
I've known Patrick James my whole life because he's my father.
Well, I've had the distinct pleasure of either working with him or working directly for him. We both were at Santa Fe Pacific Minerals and then Santa Fe Pacific Gold Corporation.
Pat and I had worked together at Santa Fe Mining, Santa Fe Minerals, Santa Fe Gold, at Rio Algum, Stillwater, and then at Centerra Gold.
I am so thrilled that he is going to be inducted into the National Mining Hall of Fame, and I think that he's well deserving of this because my dad was always a problem solver. He was imaginative and an innovator, and he really had a can-do spirit, and he brought that to the industry.
He has had a great career and has demonstrated his ability to build and develop new mining operations, mining companies, and create senior executives and build those people as well.
He was an extremely moral and ethical guy, just very honest to deal with.
I think Dad helped to improve the mining industry because he really served in a leadership role for most of his career. He wrote a paper and was awarded the Jack Wing Award from SME for his paper, The Triple Bottom Line.
Looking at the benefits of various mining operations to not only shareholders, but also to employees and to the communities where these operations exist.
He was very insistent and always engaging with all the local shareholders, and that goes back into the early 80s when I first dealt with Pat.
His peers would probably remember him for his goofy sense of humor, but more than anything, he was determined. Dad always believed that every person mattered. He talked to anyone. I can't ever remember walking into a restaurant, which by the time we did walk out of the restaurant, we didn't know the guy in the back of the kitchen who was washing the dishes. And he took that to his job as well.
They'll remember him as a leader, as a mentor.
My dad really impacted me through my whole life. I worked in the mining industry as well. So a little bit like father, like daughter.
Well, it was a significant series of transactions that I worked on with Pat that, I really got to understand, his leadership and his character throughout the process.
Pat really just set me out, gave me a target, wanted a completion date, wanted a budget, gave me the authority to move the project forward. And no red tape, and something that I really appreciate to this day. To Pat, mining was the best profession I think he could ever imagine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amy Jacobson, Patrick James' daughter and a pioneering force in mining in her own right.
Thank you, Kim. And thank you to the National Mining Hall of Fame for bestowing this incredible honor on my dad. My brother Mike and I would like to extend a special thank you to the contributors for his nomination: Steve Lang, Bruce Hansen, who is here this evening, Brian Wickelbauer, George Byers, and Frank McAllister. Sadly, Dad is unable to be here tonight, so it is with great pleasure that I am able to represent him this evening. 12 years ago, I attended the National Mining Hall of Fame Gala in Leadville with Dad. He was the MC that evening, and I know that he is delighted to now be an inductee himself. If Dad was here, he would definitely be recognizing one additional person that was essential to his success: my mom, Sharon James. She and Dad were a team. Through their 50 years together, she stood with him, keeping our home running. She faithfully moved our household 12 times in 50 years, raised 2 kids, and supported Dad in the good and the tough times. So tonight, rather than focusing on Dad's accomplishments, I'd like to share a little bit about him. Dad's hallmarks are his humble and gentle spirit, his love for God and family, his goofy sense of humor, a passion for learning and new ideas, a deep commitment to advancing this industry, and a great faith in the people who worked with him. So my brother told me that, I'm going off script now, sorry, but my brother told me that the one way that I would have to honor him tonight is to tell a dad joke. So I got to do it. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing right now. So how do you know when a miner likes a joke? He really digs it. Sorry. He learned his strong ethics and do-it spirit from his parents while growing up on a farm in the eastern plains of Colorado. He decided to become a mining engineer at an early age because he and his dad blew up their basement. It's a long story. And he was the first member of his family to go to college. He put himself through school with the help of my mom. And education was a passion for my parents. And they've been integral, as the video showed, in helping a significant number of young people attend college. There are 4 of us here this evening who are recipients of that passion, and I'd like to recognize them. My nephew, Eric James, my niece, Megan James, my cousin, Justin Mose, and myself. And it just wasn't his family members. His dry cleaner son ended up at Colorado School of Mines as a first-generation student, and that was in part because of the seeds of encouragement that was planted by Dad every time he went to pick up his dry cleaning. While he was at CSM, Dad worked at Climax in the Uray mines, Moly mines as a miner, and he loved being underground. And he loved working with his fellow miners. His career was characterized by a hands-on, get-dirty approach, even when he rose to higher management positions. He valued and respected all people who made the mines run, no matter their position. So one of my favorite memories is that we went out on the tour of the Lone Tree mine when they was doing the grand opening. And we were walking out on the thickener, and Dad had forgotten to take off his hard hat. So the metallurgists here, we all understand the significance of that. The rest of you, we'll tell you later. But one of the operators came running out on the catwalk and told Dad, hey, you got to get back to the control room. And, he never questioned the operator. He just went. He just simply went back as he was asked to do. We often wondered if that operator, later on that day, somebody elbowed him and said, do you know that was the CEO? And of course, I personally think it would have been fun to watch Dad dig out the thickener, but oh well. Dad's accomplishments were not just his own, and he would be the first to admit that fact. He was a consummate leader who built and inspired teams to create great companies and great minds. But he didn't do it alone. He believed in the people who worked with him, and he was fortunate to be surrounded by people who had shared his passion for the industry. For Dad, nothing was impossible. He had a let's get it done and let's give it a try spirit. For example, he insisted that Santa Fe adopt the use of PCs in the early 80s. Now, I understand all of us understand how PCs are in our daily lives. We carry a phone around with us. So sometimes it's a little hard to understand the significance of this action. And he really got a lot of pushback when he did it. But it ended up being a game changer because Santa Fe could identify expiration targets in a fraction of the time that it previously needed. This same let's give it a try attitude was applied to the processing challenges at the Twin Creeks and Lone Tree mines. He and his team found the right people to tackle the issues, and most importantly, those people were given the latitude to find the answers. And the approach paid off because the mines were commissioned on time or ahead of schedule and under budget. I believe that my dad embodies the innovative, adventurous, and dedicated spirit of the leaders who built the mines that have made the United States a great country. And so it is with great pleasure, our family, and I would also like to introduce to you his sister, Deanna Mose. So we would like to, with great pleasure, we'd like to accept this award on his behalf. And we once again thank you.
Is it just me, or is the music getting jazzier all night? All right. Inductee number 272 to the National Mining Hall of Fame is Eero Makinen, the visionary mining king of Finland, who transformed his nation's mineral wealth into a legacy of prosperity and innovation. Though his path began with dreams of teaching gymnastics, fate and family wisdom steered him toward greater horizons. After earning his PhD in geology from Helsinki University in 1913 and studying mine engineering at Stockholm's Royal Technical University, Makinen's journey was briefly interrupted by Finland's independence war, where he fought against communist forces, an experience that would later shape his capitalist convictions. His defining chapter began in 1918 at the Outokumpu mine. When the Norwegian operators fell into bankruptcy in 1921, Makinen ascended to president, setting in motion a transformation that would revolutionize Finnish mining. Under his leadership, a single copper mine evolved into the Outokumpu conglomerate, ultimately employing thousands across 28 countries. His crowning achievement was the development of flash smelting, an energy-efficient, low-emission method for processing sulfuric copper ores that would later be recognized as the metallurgical innovation of the 20th century and achieve European Union Best Available Technology status. Makinen's vision extended far beyond the mines. His 1933 book, Mountain Industry and Metal Manufacturing, became the cornerstone of mining education in Finland. His revolutionary approach to combining exploration, mining, processing, and refining led to the establishment of both the Finnish Association of Mining and Metallurgical Engineers and the Outokumpu School of Mining. In 1947, Makinen brought his business acumen to Parliament, advocating for national resources to benefit all of Finland rather than individual interests. As Minister of Transportation and Public Works in 1953, he served his country until his final moment, passing away at his desk after 111 days in office. This Renaissance man, born to an artistic family and serving on the Finnish Art Museum board, proved that vision, innovation, and public service could coexist. We'll now watch a video to learn more about this man who didn't just mine minerals, but he mined the future of Finland itself.
Eero Makinen is from a town called Sortavada, which now is in Russia and was at the time in Finland.
He had 5 siblings. A lot of his siblings came to be very known artists here in Finland.
He was a successful researcher in 1913, but he came to the conclusion that mining would be better for the nation.
He was so convinced that Finnish mining could be profitable that he sold his microscope, his books and furniture and moved to Sweden to study mining.
He
became CEO of auto company while he was in his 30s still.
He believed in education and started a school for the miners and also schooling at the university level.
In 1940s, Eero Makinen were part of something very, very significant.
He and his colleagues invented a method of getting the copper out of the concentrate that is very energy efficient, and that is why it's so widely used now. It also resulted in vastly lower emissions.
Even today, 50% of all copper is smelted using flash smelting ovens.
He was my great-grandfather. While he died well before I was born, and in many ways he's still a towering presence over the family, and his legacy is something we all grew up with and know about.
He was my great-grandfather. My father was a miner and my grandfather was a miner. We have a summer cottage, which is at the Outokumpu lakeside, which Eero built to go fishing.
My knowledge of Eero is based on the fact that I'm a historian. I run pretty much everything at the mining museum here in Outokumpu, Finland.
I'm working nowadays in this part of this technology what Eero Makinen invented.
Eero should be inducted into the National Mining Hall of Fame because he is not only a key figure in Finland for mining, he is also internationally important.
Eero is like a pioneer for our copper business.
He was the founder of the Finnish modern mining.
He was building a small, non-profitable mining operation into an international conglomerate.
Eero has improved the mining industry in countless ways. He was the one who brought in all the modern techniques with the idea that it should benefit the Finnish people and not only the people working there.
The well-being of the miners was important for him.
Thinking about this flash smelting, it's still the technology which provide over 50% of the primary copper, and he is the pioneer for this.
His peers would remember him as a very hard-working man. He was brave, he loved children, and he was kind.
He was one of the founding members of Mountain Men Society in Finland. For miners, concentrators, smelters, they should all have this mountain man spirit and find this togetherness instead of being separate.
In Finland we have this word sisu, strength of will, determination. I think that Eero have shown us that when you have a target on your mind, you can achieve whatever you want.
Eero's life impacted me that I think it had an influence on my own career choices. I grew up with geology, mining engineering around me. I became a scientist myself.
He has been very inspirational to me because he was a hard worker. He was an innovator.
Eero was planning to be the teacher. His teacher itself started to say that, Eero, you're more strong about like this science thing, and for me it was the same, that I was actually first thinking about that I will be the kindergarten teacher, but then later on I really started to think that I would like to do something really effective for the environment.
Well, I love his enthusiasm. Even if he was a very busy man, when Christmas came, he used to go as a Santa Claus to the families nearby because he really loved children.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Claes Svanjung, friend of the Makinen family and nominator of the Mining King of Finland, to our Hall of Fame.
Well, I suppose it's appropriate to do jazz hands at this point. So, good evening. I am Claes Svanjung. I am the curator of the Outokumpu Mining Museum, and I am accepting this recognition on behalf of Eero Makinen, who sadly passed away in 1953 at his desk, as we learned. I'm sure Eero Makinen would be very happy and honored that he is inducted into the Mining Hall of Fame. He was the father of modern mining in Finland. He was an acclaimed geologist. He was a patron of the arts, translating and writing poetry. He was a soldier, As a student in Sweden, he traveled across the ice to fight in Finland's War of Independence. He was a patriot, fighting to keep the Finnish mining industry independent of the German mining conglomerates in the time leading up to and during the Second World War. He was the CEO of the Outokumpu Mining Company from 1921 until his death. And I would say that Eero Makinen is pretty much the embodiment of this term, sisu, that we saw on the video. So, inner strength, resilience, determination. Eero Makinen is a shining example of what can be done when combining scientific expertise with entrepreneurial vision. Through his leadership, the Outokumpu company developed from a small backwater mine into a modern conglomerate encompassing mining, processing, and smelting. Eero Makinen's drive to combine research and education led to breakthroughs and improvements in the mining sector. His pragmatic approach led to innovations such as flash smelting, which he developed together with his nephew Petri Bryk and also Jon Rysselin. The technique, as said, is used to smelt about 50% of copper ores today. I want to thank the Mining Hall of Fame and Museum for inducting Eero Makinen and for hosting this wonderful gala today. The Mining Hall of Fame and Museum is a place where the many different disciplines of the mining industry come together. Eero Makinen thought it was important to keep the disciplines together, as he adamantly emphasized that when he co-founded the Finnish Association of Mining and Metallurgical Engineers, the thing I called the Mountain Man Society in the video, because that's the Finnish name for it. Eero Makinen was also chairman of this association for 10 years, between its founding in 1943 and his death in 1953. Institutions like this help form a sort of familial bond between members and between the disciplines. Eero Makinen himself was a family man, always having time for his children and his grandchildren. We have two of Eero Makinen's great-grandchildren here tonight. I want to thank them for all the support they've given for the application for this. I also want to thank the late Antero Hakapa, Eero Makinen's grandson, for teaching me about their family history. Eero Makinen was not only interested in results, he also saw after the well-being of his workers. The Outokumpu company built housing for the workers. The Outokumpu company had its own hospital with the first X-ray machine in northern Karelia. And it also had a farm, which in its over 20 years of work never turned a profit. He was a proponent of development of workers' safety and also the fight against miners' diseases such as silicosis. Without Eero Makinen's hard work for my home country, Finland would likely not be the successful and modern nation it is today. His dedication to improving technology and education has made mining in Finland what it is today. While Eero Makinen is known as the mining king of Finland, his focus was never on increasing his own wealth. It was about treating Finland's mineral resources as a national treasure for the public good and to benefit all Finns. His legacy lives on in companies that continue his work, such as the Outokumpu company and Metso. My museum, together with the family of Eero Makinen, carry his memory with us. And now with his induction to the Mining Hall of Fame, this extraordinary man will surely be remembered for posterity.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have celebrated extraordinary individuals whose contributions have fundamentally shaped the mining industry. Their achievements and innovations will continue to influence generations to come. Now, I am honored to introduce Elizabeth Dinschel, President and CEO of the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum, whose leadership ensures the preservation and celebration of our industry's rich heritage. Please join me in welcoming Elizabeth.
Let's start off with thanking Kim for being an awesome host tonight. I was first introduced to Kim when she was in the Women in Mining exhibit, and I was absolutely blown away with her. And then I met her, and she was amazing, and I knew I wanted her to be a part of everything we do. This is for you. Thank you so much for hosting. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. I do want to recognize some people. First, I would like to send our heartfelt congratulations to all of the inductees and their families tonight. Thank you so much for coming here and being with us. Your incredible contributions to the mining industry and mining education have truly shaped our field, and we are proud to honor your lifetime achievements tonight. We want to thank our sponsors, Caterpillar, Elphinstone Group, Royal Gold, and Centura Gold. We also want to thank all of the companies, families, and individuals who sponsored their groups. This is our very first Zero Waste event tonight, and it will certainly not be our last. I would like to thank our Zero Waste sponsor, Royal Gold, for saving about 200 pounds of waste from the landfill tonight. The small actions we take towards promoting sustainability set an example to the communities that we serve through our leadership. Climax routinely sponsors the Zero Waste events in Leadville, and it does not go unnoticed. The museum has reduced waste by going paperless and recycling large waste instead of sending it to the landfill. Recently, our board member, Michelle Gazarek, who's back there, donated to the museum by picking up a load of recycling and taking it to EcoCycle in Boulder, the same company composting tonight's waste. I'd also like to express my gratitude to the Board of Governors and the Board of Directors. Please stand tonight to be recognized. Our dedicated staff, please also stand, and the amazing volunteers, including Alejandro and Catherine upstairs, and all of the volunteers from School of Mines. I really want to thank School of Mines because they always send their wonderful students. And when you guys are here tonight, please take the opportunity to meet them because they will be joining you in the industry. They are the future, right? So thank you, everybody, board, governors, staff, volunteers, thank you all very much. Hugh Miller's back there. Can you text some people to ring the bells tonight for the Daman family? That'd be awesome. So the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum welcomes about 25,000 visitors each year. Each visitor walks through our doors to discover the rich history, legacy, and ongoing contributions to the mining industry. We are committed to educating the public about the vital role mining plays in our lives and its importance in building a sustainable future. The national significance of mining to the United States history and present-day industry are the reasons the National Mining Hall of Fame and Museum was awarded Lake County funding, 2 state historical fund grants from the state of Colorado, and federal grants from the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the National Park Service, and the National Endowment for the Humanities just this year. Just this year, our staff did that. We have moved to phase 2 of permanent stabilization and ADA accessibility to our National Historic Site, the Matchless Mine. The museum elevator is currently undergoing a total replacement. We are upgrading all of our mineral cases in the Hennenbach wing, and we are building an exhibit on mine safety. We are installing continuous environmental monitoring of our collection storage and our exhibits. We are also improving environmental conditions and writing new policies to guide our stewardship of mining's history and the present-day industry. Please stop by our small display that's out in the lobby to see the work that we are doing and to learn more about how you can get involved with this important work. Helping us reach our 2023 grant match goals of $149,000 is vital to our success. Last year, Charlie McNeil and Richard Ackerson inspired $125,000 worth of donations at the gala. Richard generously matched that, and we raised $250,000 at last year's gala. Because of your philanthropy, we exceeded our endowment goal of $6 million by nearly $300,000. Charlie, please stand and be recognized because you are responsible for this. We appreciate you so much. There's Charlie. There's Charlie. If just 13 people stop by the desk and pledge $10,000 like last year, we will meet our fundraising goal for the year. If you're looking for another way to support the museum, I encourage you to become a member. Many of our memberships grant access to over 1,300 museums across the country. You can also think about us in your will. We are happy to help set up a meeting to discuss how you can contribute to the museum in your final wishes. I am so proud to be a part of this organization, and I look forward to every moment I get to spend serving the community of Leadville and promoting the mission of the museum to national audiences. We are grateful for your presence and the support of the mission of the museum. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I also want to thank my husband, Adam, in the back. He puts up with all of my shenanigans in planning these events and working at the museum like 100 hours a week. Thank you, Adam. All right, I'm going to hand it back to Kim. We'll wrap it up. And there's dessert and coffee and all kinds of fun stuff. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Well, she basically said it already. So, ladies and gentlemen, our induction ceremony concludes, but the celebration continues with champagne and dessert just outside these doors. And I think everyone's pretty thirsty about now. I know I am. Anyway, we invite you to join us in further honoring our distinguished inductees. This evening has been a testament to the extraordinary achievements that shape our industry. Please join me in one final round of applause for our newest members of the National Mining Hall of Fame. And the doors will open now. Thank you.